The woman speaking here is quoted saying,
So say there's a white shooter, black shooter. Which one are we gonna, like?
and then an individual who is purported to be, again, I don't know whether this is the truth or not, but this Charlie Chester says, quote,
Yeah, for the longest while, like, the story was like, people were like lapping up that it was like, white guys for like so long.
Stop right there, because I want to point out that this Sierra Oscar Bravo, if this is true, if this isn't all a grand skit put on by James O'Keefe, he knows what he's doing is immoral. He knows what he's doing is wrong. He knows, and you can see it in this stuttering start and stop approach to what he knows. He's about to reveal their secrets. He knows this is the bandits are speaking. They're telling you how exactly they rob the people when they come through town. And he doesn't know, well, should I really admit this? And he's taken another look. Well, maybe he wants to get under the sheets or whatever it is. And he's saying, maybe I'm going to go ahead and just reveal something. But he knows it's wrong what he's saying. All the starting and stopping is that he knows he's manipulating the public, if it's true. If it's not a grand skit put on by James O'Keefe. But Charlie goes on.
I haven't seen anything about focusing on the color of people's skin that aren't white. They just aren't saying anything.
And I'll pause again here and just say, this is Charlie Chester, CNN director. If it's a real person and if this is not a skit, this is who James O'Keefe is claiming is speaking in this video. So you're going to have to check it out for yourself. Charlie goes on in this utterly guilty way. I mean, it's like these anti-white dirtbags. It is absolutely catching the amoral child. He hasn't learned morality yet. Mouth covered in cookies or whatever it might be. And did you eat the cookies? No. Well, why is it all over your face? Well, it just appeared there, or somebody else put it there. This is what you get out of these people. I am endlessly astonished by the fact that people go their entire lives, intelligent people, highly educated people, and they come to me, we have a conversation, and they say, can you believe what they're saying? Well, if you were going free, you would see their horns. Why? It would be shocking if they didn't lie. It would be shocking if they were honest. It would be shocking if they were moral. I am not shocked at all. My entire life, I am not shocked. If you are living with a pyromaniac and the house keeps catching on fire, and you keep expressing disbelief, the person with the problem is not the pyromaniac. It is you. You are an idiot. Stop expressing astonishment. If you are going free, you are never astonished when the anti-whites are lying and deceiving and manipulating and cajoling. If for nothing else, you should be able to see it on their faces, because liars lie, manipulators manipulate, thieves thieve. I mean, it is just in their bones.
I mean, they're just not. All of a sudden, that story loses a little steam, and they just leave it be.
Again, he knows what he's doing is wrong. He's unsure about revealing the tricks of his treachery, the treachery of the business he works for, the field he works in. If any of this is true, it's probably all false. Ask CNN. One of the girls then says, why? Why does the story just disappear when it is a non-white shooter? Why is it, as we say here, why is it buried underfoot when it's non-white shooter? And why is it written in the sky when it is a white shooter? Or when, I guess more appropriately here, when they can make it seem like it was a white shooter, when they can play up the white shooter's motivations. Maybe he was a degenerate and a sicko, and maybe he claimed to hate sex workers, and that's why he went and murdered people, and he deserves whatever punishment he gets. But they're not going to tell you that. They're going to write something else in the sky. Why? Is if you're going free, you know, should be on the tip of your tongue, because that which does not comport to the anti-white narrative is not shown, the fiction is not shown to the public. That which can be used to bolster or to prove the anti-white narrative is put in your faces. Do you see? It is a fiction right from the mouth of somebody who is purported to be a director at CNN. He then responds, I don't know. It's odd. I have no idea. At the top, I have no idea why it just disappears.
I think it's got to be trends. So.
How many of you heard this sort of thing before? Oh, it's just a trend here, a trend there. Well, it's a pretty long trend, isn't it? Been going on how many generations now, this anti-white trend? That's one hell of a trend. And maybe you shouldn't be part of a trend, you anti-white dog. Maybe you shouldn't be part of a trend that is harming an entire group of people, destroying a civilization. What do you say? What do you say you abandon that trend?
What people will latch onto, you know?
Just hoping to say, you get it, right? You don't want me to have to reveal more of exactly how we fleece and all the horrible things that anti-whites do. You don't need the actual like gory details of how the sausage is made, right? You just need to, you get it, right? We've gotten up, I've told you so much, and we're almost there at the actual meat packing portion of the sausage making. You really don't need to hear the rest. You get it, right? Charlie then goes on to say that the media is the greatest weapon.
You were telling Michelle, you were telling me, or something. You're saying like how media is the greatest weapon. Where were you going to go with that?
I mean, it's just propaganda. Like it can really. Sorry, my chime just went off.
What do you mean by propaganda?
Like you can shape an entire people's perception about anything on how you do it, right? Like
How do you do that?
just by like forcing the story to help like your platform, you know?
When we talk about the anti-white narrative, it's not some flippant little thing that we're saying to you. It is a paradigmatic shift in how you view the world, your worldview. If you accept the reality, not a flippant remark on what's happening, but the reality that everything out there is fiction. Yes, there are going to be shooters. Yes, there are going to be crimes. Yes, there are going to be police who abuse people and police who are wrongly accused of abusing people. Yes, those things are all going to happen. But what actually happened, and whether or not you ever hear about it, or if anything happened and then you hear about it, all of that, all of those choke points are controlled or dominated by anti-whites, and they pinch it as narrow as they can. And then they decide what you get to hear. And that, my friends, is fiction. When they craft the news, when they craft events, when they craft history, when they smear somebody like me or wonderful people like the ones I just named, that is as much fiction as Stephen King. And it is a horror just like the garbage he writes. It is what you are. It is a prison that you are forced to live inside of. You cannot escape. It is a prison for your mind. And no one has provided a key for it until going free. We have the skeleton key. You need to stick it in the lock and step out of that cage if you are going to succeed. You are not going to be able to give flippant responses inside of your cage with the other prisoners and get anywhere. You have to be out of that cage of the anti-white narrative and speaking to those who are still inside and saying, brother, sister, here is my hand. I have a skeleton key to set you free.